the most wanted terrorist in the world.
In the morning of September 11, 2001, the world woke up to what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday. No one knew that within a few hours, history would change forever. At that time, very few people recognized the name Osama bin Laden. Even fewer understood the organization he led. But by the end of that day, his actions would reshape global politics, security, and war. This is the story of September 11, the deadliest terrorist attack in modern history. And the defining event of Osama bin Laden's legacy. Early that morning, 19 men boarded 4 commercial passenger airplanes in the United States. They appeared ordinary. They carried no firearms, no explosives. Only small knives and a plan that had taken years to prepare. These men were members of al-Qaeda, an extremist organization led by Osama bin Laden. Their mission was unprecedented. They intended to turn civilian airplanes into weapons. Shortly after takeoff from Boston, American Airlines Flight 11 was hijacked. Minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 was taken over as well. Both aircraft were redirected toward New York City. At 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. The impact was immediate and devastating. Fire erupted instantly. Black smoke filled the sky. At first, many believed it was a tragic accident. 17 minutes later, that belief vanished. At 9:03 a.m., Flight 175 slammed into the South Tower. Millions of people were watching live. At that moment, it became clear the United States was under attack. Inside the towers, thousands of people were trapped above the impact zones. Stairwells were destroyed. Elevators no longer worked. Smoke and fire spread rapidly. First responders rushed inside. Fire fighters. Police officers. Paramedics. Many of them would never come back out. As the fires burned, the steel structures weakened. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower followed. In less than 2 hours, the skyline of New York City was permanently changed. Nearly 3,000 people were killed. But the attacks did not stop there. A third plane, American Airlines Flight 77, was hijacked and flown into the Pentagon. The headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. The strike killed civilians and military personnel and caused massive destruction. The fourth aircraft, United Airlines Flight 93, was heading toward Washington, D.C. Passengers on board learned about the earlier attacks through phone calls. They understood what was happening. They chose to fight back. The plane crashed into a field in Pennsylvania. Everyone on board was killed. Investigators later concluded the intended target was likely the U.S. Capitol or the White House. By midday, all air travel across the United States was shut down. Major cities were evacuated. Governments around the world entered emergency mode. The victims came from more than 90 different countries. Families were destroyed. Entire communities were traumatized. Osama bin Laden initially denied responsibility. But evidence quickly pointed to al-Qaeda. Financial records. Training camp footage. Intercepted communications. Confessions from captured operatives. All led to the same conclusion. This attack had been planned for years. In 2004, Osama bin Laden released a video message. In it, he openly admitted his role in planning the attacks. He claimed that September 11 was retaliation for U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. He cited American military presence in Saudi Arabia. Support for Israel. And sanctions against Iraq. In his ideology, civilian deaths were justified. This view was rejected by the overwhelming majority of Islamic scholars worldwide. They condemned the attacks as criminal and un-Islamic. The response to September 11 was immediate and global. On September 20, 2001, the United States declared a war on terror. The Taliban government in Afghanistan was ordered to hand over Osama bin Laden. They refused. In October 2001, U.S. and allied forces invaded Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda training camps were destroyed. The Taliban regime collapsed, but Osama bin Laden escaped. For nearly 10 years, he remained hidden. The largest manhunt in modern history began. The consequences of September 11 reached far beyond Afghanistan. Security laws changed. Surveillance expanded. Air travel was transformed forever. In 2003, the United States invaded Iraq under the broader framework of the War on Terror. A decision that remains deeply controversial. Meanwhile, al-Qaeda weakened but did not disappear. New extremist groups emerged. Inspired by the ideology behind September 11. On May 2, 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs raided a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Osama bin Laden was killed. Nearly a decade after September 11, the man behind the attacks was gone. But the legacy of that day remains. September 11 was not only an attack on buildings. It was not only an attack on a country. It was a turning point in modern history. A reminder of how extremist ideology can reshape the world. And a warning of the cost of hatred, absolutism, and political violence. September 11 will forever be remembered. And it will always be linked to one name: Osama bin Laden.